Hey everybody and welcome. In today's process video, I have a traveler's notebook layout for you. This is my first creative team project for Clique Kits, and I'm so excited to be back on this creative team and have a really cool layout that I wanted to share with you. The products that I'm working with are the Here Comes the Sun kit. And this features Pretty Little Studio products, which I've been a long-time fan of theirs. And I'm also using a Freckled Fawn album that you can find in the Clique Kit shop. And of course, I will link those products below for you. So I have a couple of photos here from my garden, and I was just going through some photos from last year the other day, planning out some layouts for the future, and discovered this iris that we have in front of our mailbox. And I had been thinking about when it blooms, and so the date on these photos was August of last year. So that was a nice little reminder that they'll be coming around in August. And so I decided that to usher this year's blooms in, I should make a layout just remembering these blooms and how pretty they were last year. So I'm starting with there was a little vellum included with this kit. There are actually 2 vellums and a transparency if you're into specialty papers like that. And I love including those in my albums. So I thought I would do something cool with this one that has these horizontal kind of stripes to them. And they sort of have a watercolor effect. And I thought it was really pretty. And so I've sort of started cutting that apart, and then I set it aside, and you'll see me do that a couple of times throughout this process. I'm going to work with it and set it aside, work with something else and set that aside, and kind of go back and forth to get these pages completed. There is more than one page for this particular process video because I had a full page photo, and then I also had 2 3x4 photos. And so even though there weren't any 3x4 pocket pages included with this album, I made one myself, and I just took the sewing machine and ran some stitching down the side so that it would hold those photos. And then the little space that's left over, I'm going to use that fantastic sequin mix and stitch that up so that the sequins will get to have a little home too. And so that meant that if this was a layout by itself, then that was going to be all photos. So I decided to do something on the back of the pocket page, and I'll also do something on the back of the full page photo as well. So you get a little bonus for your buck here today. And that's the fun part about working in traveler's notebooks, is that they come together, the pages come together so easily and quickly that by the time you're done, you've got 5 layouts done. At least that seems to be how it is for me. So you can see where I'm picking that vellum back up and sort of trimming out some of these stripes. And my idea is to stitch these down and let the little strips sort of pop up a little bit so that I can incorporate some stitching just using my sewing machine. And I'll probably end up stitching it down to another piece of plain vellum just so that I can kind of keep that see-through kind of feel. And I also have some ideas with those little cut-apart banners as well. I really like those. I like that those banners had word art. And you'll notice that even though the the kit is called Here Comes the Sun, I'm not really pulling those elements from the kit. I'm more pulling the hello there, hey beautiful kind of elements to go with these flowers, and really more celebrating how, I don't know, these flowers were just really pretty and they really made me happy. So I was just looking here at some of the other elements that were in the kit, and so there's a pack of die cuts, a pack of frames, die cut frames here, and some florals included in there. There are also some 3x4 journaling cards, and I've chosen a couple that I thought I wanted to use, and then you'll also see me use some of the packaging from one of those packs of die cuts as well. And I just have to say that this sequin pack may be the sole reason why I pulled this kit to play with it. I love this little sequin mix. It's got little see-through kind of flowers. It's got different colored acrylic hearts. It's got some little discs, and it's just colorful and cute and happy. And so I glued a few of those around the little word art that I put on the big photo, or the full page photo, just to add a little bit of embellishment there, and also to tie in what will be the sequin pocket, so that it all sort of goes together. And any kind of way that you can stretch your sequin pockets like that is so much fun. Something else I've done in the past is staple them to your layout, or you can stitch them in place. I'm not much of a stitcher, but I have stapled them in the past. These seemed like they might not staple very well. The hearts are pretty opaque, so that's all right. And then I'm going to repeat that here. So I mentioned that I was using the packaging here for a 3x4 card. So I trimmed that down to fit in the pocket, and then added the Hello Beautiful artwork on top of it, and then repeated some more of those little sequins, and they just turned out so cute. That was the perfect little sequin mix. And I may or may not have kept some for another layout. I'm not going to say for sure yet, because I might just keep some for keeps. I don't know. So the 3x4 photos, I did print those a little bit smaller than 3x4, and then cut a little border, a white border around them, and then I adhered some of those banners. This one shows some of the other flowers that were next to those irises, and they just these were vincas, and they just sort of exploded there. And so I had a photo of my feet, which kind of puts me in the photos as well, which is always a nice thing. I recommend that when you are doing a layout, put yourself in those photos too. And then for the other journaling card, this will go on the back of the pocket page. I used the gold circles there. And so I did another banner in the center, and the heart, the little die cut heart. And then I added my journaling across the bottom of that card. And that's where the journaling will live. And so I popped over to my sewing machine and sewed up the sequin pocket. I sewed those 3x4 pockets so that they would be sealed up, or the top one would be sealed up, and I also stitched that vellum. And so you can see how that turned out. I layered some more of those banners over top of the vellum pieces, and that turned out kind of cute. It's something different. It's something that I don't know that I've ever done anything like that before, and so that's kind of what I like to do in my layouts, is just stretch myself. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and punch what I have. I need to punch the vellum, and I need to punch the full page photos so that they'll fit into the album. And then I'll also have the back of the full page photo that I need to do something with. And at this point, I've got my photos. I've got some beautiful pockets that are filled, and I've got my journaling. And so the back of this photo can really be an aesthetic, not necessarily functional thing. So I'm going to just take a look at the other pattern papers that were included, and I really liked this diagonal stripe. There was a little tiny caveat that the pattern papers were just a little bit shy. The pocket pages themselves and the full page photo are just at 8 1/4, and the pattern paper itself is 8 inches. So I had a brilliant, beyond brilliant idea, and I thought, well, I'll cut it in half and split it apart on the back of that photo, and then I can fill that space in with something. And it doesn't really seem like it's that epic of an idea. Oh, well, duh. You could use washi tape for this. You could use a label. You could use another pattern paper. Something, just trying to give you some ideas if you decide to do something. And so what I ended up going with is, there was the scrap left over from that pattern paper. And so I was looking at it and kind of weighing the option here, and it makes kind of a cool little chevron effect. Originally I was going to try to match up the sizes of the stripes, but they don't quite, obviously, they don't quite go together, and that's okay, that's fine. It still came out as a cute little idea, and you know, one thing always leads to the other, and so that led me to do something with the transitions between these chevrons. I'm going to just punch that back page real quick again. And so I'm trying to decide here if I want to still keep adding. Do I want to keep adding to this? And the answer is yes, I did. I ended up finding those florals again that were in the die cut pack. And I'm going to tuck, you'll see here in just a second as I'm still considering what do I want to do here. So I'm going to grab those florals and cut those in half. And then half of each flower can go on the top and the bottom of that center strip. And this is a great way to stretch your floral embellishments. I cut them in half all the time and then tuck them behind a photo or behind another journaling card or behind a label, and that way you get more use out of them. And this worked out great on this page because it sort of broke up that line a little bit and added just a little softening. It made it a little softer there. And then I'm going to grab real quick my stamps, just a plain roller stamp, and stamp a little word sentiment in that lower corner there. and then I'm going to call this done. Thank you so much for following along. I will have all the products linked below for you. Of course, there's more on the Clique Kits blog, and I will link to that as well. And I would just love to have you stop by and leave me a comment and let me know how you liked how this layout turned out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.